Hi guys, this is the Epic Gamer Boy here, and today we're going to be reviewing almost all of the iPod Touch models that are ever made by Apple. So this is like all of the iPod Touches I have so far. I do not have so yeah, we have a first gen, second gen, fourth gen, fifth gen, sixth gen, and seventh gen. I do not have a iPod Touch third gen, but it looks almost the same. It looks pretty much the same as the second gen anyways, but if I can get yes, iPod Touch third gen someday, that would be really cool, but yeah. So this so yeah, we're gonna be reviewing like almost all of the iPod Touches ever made by Apple. So I don't know if it's like the first gen. So this is the iPod Touch first gen here. So as you can see, this thing has no like volume buttons and oh yeah, the reason why I put this here because the back is like completely scratched off of here. And yeah, so this is what the first iPod looks like. So as you can see, there is like no sound except for like some like similar sounds that like flip phones make. Like so, sorry about that. I think I think I left these iPods turned off for like a long time. That's why these notifications are like showing up. At least like cut the video before the before the thing shows up because I do not want to leak any like information. Anyway, so this is what the first iPod Touch looks like. As you can see, this thing is still jailbroken, and the reason how I got these apps was like I think it was actually like you need to get like Checkmate Store, and I think the tweak is called cydia.inva.xi playgames.uk. I think I used to do that with like iOS 6 back when I used to jailbreak with like Panda Helper and Dual Boot and stuff. It was actually still pretty fun because like iOS 6 was cool. Now this thing it also looks pretty cool, as you can see. So yeah. Also the charging sound and like also the lock and unlock sound is like different on here. It also has different charging sound. Wait, I think I can show you that since I have a charger nearby. Oh wait, yeah, that's what that's what the sound makes. So the latest version that this thing can run is. Sorry, I need to put my tripod in like a perfect position. There we go. And the iOS version that this thing is running is iOS 3.1.3, as you can see. 3.1.3. And yeah, this thing does not have a camera, and this part here is like the Bluetooth part. Okay, moving on. Next up we have is the iPod Touch second gen, and comparing this with like the first gen here, you can see there's like you can actually know that there are some difference. So yeah, now this is almost like a curvy back, like the 3G and 3GS, but not as curvy as those. And I think this part looks pretty much similar. This is like the Bluetooth part of them. And yeah, also this is where like, or actually the iPod Touch second gen started to use like the iOS 1 through 6 sound, I believe. Yeah, like this. And this thing can run up to like iOS 4.2.1. As you can see. Wait, also the about page looks a bit different. Like, if I can show you. Yeah. Yeah. Uh, it's also pretty cool. By the way, you can actually get like an 8 GB iPod Touch second gen on like eBay and Mercari for still pretty much cheap price. I think even if they're in like really good condition, you can still get them for pretty cheap. So yeah. So unfortunately, I do not have a third gen, but the iPod 4th gen actually looks a lot different. I mean, actually, back in like the old days, I remember like a lot of people having iPods like these. I mean, I know I didn't really have a iPod Touch 4th gen when I was a kid, but I've seen like a lot of like other people did as their like childhood device. So this is where things start to change up. So comparing this with like the second gen, you can see that this thing has like a front and back camera, and then the previous three generations didn't. And it also has like a retina display, also which is also like nice here. And this is the first iPod to have like a white color. Fun fact, the white color iPod Touch 4th gen actually came a little bit later after the black one did, I remember. And the original version for like the white one is 5.0, and yeah. To be honest, I actually really like the white iPod Touch 4th gen because because the design and stuff looks really nice and stuff. And yeah. Also I think the speaker on this one starts to get even louder. I mean, yeah. And this thing goes up to iOS 6.1.6. Eh, I mean, it's still cool though. I mean, you can still jailbreak it, but jailbreaking could be fun, but yeah, this is what I got. Also, the camera nowadays on these things doesn't really look too great on here anymore. Like, like comparing this with like an iPhone 14 Pro Max, the iPhone 14 Pro Max still has like a way better camera than this, but I would say this is still pretty cool. This is still pretty cool, and yeah. Now, now I remember that these iPods like are a bit weak and stuff because they crack easily and stuff. Because I've seen like some on like Macari and stuff that are like cracked and broken looking. But yeah, this one's in good condition, and yeah. So next up we have is the iPod Touch 5th gen. So the iPod Touch 5th gen actually changed a lot from the 4th gen. So first of all, you'll notice that the iPod Touch 5th gen has like a aluminum back, and the iPod Touch 5th gen has like a variety of colors. It also has this thing which is like a loop. I think this is for like you wear this on your wrist and then you use the iPod, but I think like later 2013 or something like like the like these iPods no longer come with the loop. Fun fun fact. So when the iPod Touch 5th gen first came out, um wait, what was I gonna say? So for when the iPod Touch 5th gen first came out, I mean not first gen, I mean 5th gen, when and stuff, and that time there was only like 32 and 64 GB storage option, and 32 and 64 GB storage option, and then like like later on, and that time there was like a slate black color. Like back in 2012, Apple released like slate black, slate black. Sorry, slate black for like the iPhone 5, iPad 4, and not iPad 4. I mean iPad Mini one and iPod Touch 5th gen, and 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 I heard that slate black used to like actually can scratch easily. So then in like 2013, they changed the color from like slate black to space gray, but they only did it to like the iPod Touch 5th gen and the iPad Mini 1, not the iPhone 5. Probably because the 5S was about to release and that had space gray. So yeah. So for so yeah, the iPod Touch 4th Gen actually has like a the iPod Touch 5th Gen actually has a bigger screen than the 4th Gen, but comparing a 5th Gen to like a iPhone 14 Pro Max, it does still feel small, and it does still feel pretty small and stuff. Mm, so yeah, the iPod Touch 5th Gen has like a variety of colors actually. I think my favorite color for the iPod Touch 5th Gen is like blue, pink, red, product red, and yellow. Cause those look more, cause those look nice actually. And yeah, also the latest version on this is iOS 9.3.5, which is kind of slow actually, like the 4S and stuff. But mm, to be honest, I feel like they could have stopped the A A5 devices on 8.4.1, and then it would have still run a little bit better. I mean nowadays iOS 8 can still be laggy and buggy sometimes, and sometimes if we try to like downgrade these to iOS 8.4.1 with the jailbreak method I heard, it can be buggy and stuff. I've actually tried that before, and I was like, iOS 8 isn't that too bad until I noticed how buggy and laggy it was and stuff. So therefore, at the end, I just was like, eh, I don't really feel like doing those methods anymore. But there are like some other ways to like downgrade devices when trying to jailbreak and stuff. So so yeah, so the different, so yeah, so this thing runs iOS 9.3.5. I would say this is painfully slow iPhone because I've had iPhone 4S's on iOS 9.3.6 before, and those are also slow. But it's still a cool iPod though. Moving on, we have is the iPod Touch. Oh, also another fun fact. I think in like 2000 in like 13 or something, Apple also released like a iPod Touch 5th Gen that is like black and silver, but that one did not have a front-facing camera. But it's still cool though. And then in like 2014, I think 2014, I believe is where Apple like released the 16 gigabyte model for like the iPod Touch 5th Gen. And yeah. Also, this is the first iPod to have a lightning cable. And you can see like the headphone jack part has been changed though. And yeah. Next up we have, hold on, this is FaceTime notification. Okay, so now we're on to like the newer iPod. So here we have is an iPod Touch 6th Gen, and as you guys can see, the difference from the 5th Gen and the 6th Gen is that the 6th Gen removed the looping thing, and this thing has the A8 chip like the iPhone 6, but it's like underclocked, and what else? And this thing actually runs up to like iOS 12.5.7. Actually, the iPod Touch 6th Gen on iOS 12 is actually a lot better than the iPod Touch 5th Gen on like iOS 9.3.5 because it's like a lot faster still. And yeah, this has 1 gigs of RAM, and this I would say have 512 megabytes of RAM. And yeah, I think the iPod Touch 6th Gen have like a better camera than the 5th Gen does, because the 5th Gen is only like 5 megapixel. And yeah. Uh, Also, the iPod Touch 6th Gen is actually where colors start, where I Actually, I like all the colors on like the iPod Touch 5th, 6th, and 7th gen. Actually, but on like the 6th and 7th gen, the color option does have changed. So, so let me, so the iPod Touch 6th gen has red, blue, pink, gold, silver, space gray, and the iPod Touch 5th gen actually has like more than that, like black, silver, the one with the no front camera, silver, silver, space gray, slate black, pink, red, pink, red, blue, and yeah, and yellow actually, and yeah. And yeah, this is actually the first iPod to start to have like 1 gigs of RAM, and yeah. Also, I forgot to mention that the iPod Touch 5th gen is actually also the first iPod to have to also have like a flashlight and AirDrop as well. The iPod Touch 6th gen also has like a flashlight. Flashlight, yeah. And then lastly, um, we have it's the iPod Touch 7, and so fun fact. So this thing actually, so so when Apple like dropped support for like the 6th gen, that's where like the 7th gen came out, but it only got like 3 years of support until like last year, where it dropped support when iOS 16 came out. We were all hoping that the iPod Touch 7 could run iOS 16, but it couldn't, unfortunately. This has like the iPhone 7 chip underclock. And yeah. Also, I got mine before when Apple discontinued it. Also, if you haven't, also guys, this is something that I have to let you guys know, is that if you have an iPod Touch 7 like laying around your house, definitely keep that, because they are getting rare, and and on eBay and Mercari, they're actually also getting expensive. I mean, you can still buy like the older iPods, like the iPod Touch 1st through 6th gen on eBay and Mercari at any time anytime, because those you can still buy them cheap, but the 7th gen is getting like expensive. Also, the prices is actually way expensive than back when Apple used to sell these. So yeah, I mean, even if you have like a 32 GB one, just still keep it, mm, because 128 and 256 GB are like expensive. I used to have a 128 GB red one, but I like 2 years ago, but that broke. Like it was like early 2021. So yeah. Also, this iPod has like 2 gigs of RAM. Sadly, it doesn't have live photos, and hold on. Fun fact: the camera on like the 5th, 6th, and 7th gen almost looks similar, but I believe, yeah. Here, I'll do it like this so you can see. Yeah, they all look similar, but oh yeah, the iPod Touch 5th gen doesn't have motion. The 5th gen, I mean, but the 6th and 7th gen do. Actually, the 6th and 7th gen look identical, almost. And yeah, this thing can run up to iOS 15.7.7. Also, this is also the first. Wait, this is where the battery on the Also, this is something that I noticed, but not like after like a long time. So this is where where the batteries on the iPod started to almost act like an iPhone. I mean, the battery on like the 5th, 6th, and 7th gen all looks like similar, but the battery on the iPod Touch 7 almost acts like an iPhone now, because iPods used to shut off when like below 20 something, because like most of the older iPods does not have battery percentage, and therefore you couldn't really tell that well battery percent the iPod has. But then the iPod Touch 7th gen added like battery percentage, and then that's where the battery on those start to act like an iPhone battery, where it would actually die pretty much like an iPhone and not just like shut off below below 20%. And yeah. Also, you can still get battery health on like the iPod Touch 4th, 5th, 6th, and with like jailbreaking and stuff, but the iPod Touch 7 has like battery percentage with it. Also, this thing and this thing does have like haptic touch, I believe. Unfortunately, no battery health on this. I kind of wish Apple did add battery health on this, but it's whatever. So yeah. So this is like pretty much all of the iPod, like reviewing all of the iPods. Sorry if this video took kind of long, cause I do run out of words a lot, and sometimes I may sound a bit tired. So yeah. So yeah, this is like all of the iPods I have that are ever made by Apple. I mean, I might get a iPod Touch 3rd gen one day, but I mean, like, all these iPods I have are still pretty cool. I would say one of my favorite iPods is like almost all of it. I mean, I only like the first, second, and third gen because you can get like an 8 GB one for for like under $20 if they're like an 8 GB first or second gen for under $20 if it's in like still perfect working condition. And like the I like the 4th gen and up. I like it because of the Retina display, and then the 5th, 6th, and 7th gen I like it because of their color design. And yeah. So with that being said, this is pretty much it for this video. I hope you guys like it. If you did, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.